A gaming laptop sounds like the most normal thing a student can buy. It's not too expensive, and if you work hard, you can save up and get one in few months, for example. Basically, anyone should be able to buy a gaming laptop, right? I wish that was true. But then I remember my reality and the reality of millions of people living in second and third world countries. You see, in these countries, gaming laptops are not made locally. They're produced in richer countries, and when a company says that a laptop will cost $1,000, for example, we already know it will never be 1,000 for us, because after import taxes, shipping fees, distributor margins, store markups, and all that extra cost that appear out of nowhere, the final price becomes something completely different. And that's where the pain begins. Yeah, it feels completely unfair, and even if you try to travel to a richer country just to buy a gaming laptop there, it still ends up more expensive than if you actually lived in that country. But the price of the laptop is only half of the problem. The other half is income. In many second and third world countries, salaries are much lower simply because the local economy works differently. You see, I live in a beautiful country like Kazakhstan, where everything is quite cheap and the salaries match that. So imagine this, an American guy with an average salary for the United States decides to come here, and just know one thing, with their average salary in every second and third world countries, they would feel like they're billionaire. They could buy the most expensive products, rent the most expensive apartments in the city, and even live in a downtown, because in such countries the internal economy is completely different. But for a normal person living here to have all of that, they really have to work hard. Local jobs don't pay as much as, for example, an average job in the United States. There is even a funny fact. A normal person working at McDonald's in the United States, like an ordinary student, can earn more than a specialist who studied for several years in the third world country. And yes, in situation like this, probably everyone would say, wow, it can't get any worse. We're already in deep shit, blять. Because all of these markups, gaming laptops in our countries are already expensive, and our salaries are already lower than in developed countries. So what else? You see, right now the situation in the world is not helping people who live in countries like that at all. Like, bro, we are in deep trouble, blять. You know what's happening in the world right now? Right now the world is basically going through complete chaos. Yes, you already know that artificial intelligence is developing fast. We are living in a time where AI can literally take your job. It can do almost anything, and it becomes extremely popular. And you know what you need for all of this to work? Yes, powerful hardware, you need more GPU power, and also you need more RAM. And you might think,
what does this have to do with gaming laptops?
well, it actually plays a huge role in why gaming laptops are getting more expensive, and why RAM for gaming PCs also become more expensive. There are very few companies in the world that produce RAM, and they are limited globally. And these companies realize something. If they limit the supply at the right time, they can make a lot of money from it. And guess what happens? They understood that AI is growing so fast that almost everyone is using it now. And to train any artificial intelligence, you need massive computing power, which means more RAM. So what is happening now? RAM production was intentionally lowered so prices could go up and companies would make more profit. And how does this affect gaming laptops? Think about it, my boy. Gaming laptops also use RAM, which comes from the same companies. So if the amount of RAM being produced goes down and the demand goes up, what happens? Exactly. The price of RAM increases and the price of gaming laptops goes up as well, because that same RAM is inside your gaming laptop. And now you have only three options. Either you work like crazy for several months or even years, or you take a loan just to buy a basic gaming laptop so you can simply play games. Or you go to the second-hand market and buy some shitty old gaming laptop, hoping it can run at least some games. And honestly, that's terrible. And yes, that explains how sad the whole situation really is. Recently I posted a video on my channel where I ran ranked every gaming laptop from the lowest to the best. And you know what I realized? When I put gaming laptops with an RTX 3050, 4050 and a 5050 with 8GB of RAM in the lower tier list, people were actually upset, and I completely understand why. On one hand, of course, they didn't like that their device ended up in the lower tier, but on the other hand, I don't know where these people came from. Maybe they also live in a second or even third world country like I do, where earning money for even a basic gaming laptop is almost impossible. That's the whole point. If everyone could easily buy a gaming laptop, nobody would complain if I placed a 3050 or even a 4050 laptop in a low tier. Everyone would agree. But for some people, a 3050 laptop is unreachable, something they work towards for years. For some people, it's a dream to own a machine like that. The situation is honestly very depressing, and I really understand those people, because I am one of them. I live in a country that is still developing, and because of that, buying tech here is a complete nightmare. Prices are insane, there are no official suppliers, and the local stores add their own markup on top of everything. Because of this, getting a gaming laptop without having some kind of high-paying, almost elite job is nearly impossible. All my friends, all the people I know buy gaming PCs or gaming laptops using credit, because there is simply no other way to afford them. So when I see a new gaming laptop or a new graphics card, let's say the RTX 5070, and I see the price is around $600, I never think like, oh, $600, that's not too expensive. If I work hard, I can get it. No, that's not what I think. I think, okay, $600, that laptop or graphics card, when it comes to my country, it will probably cost twice as much, around $1,000 or maybe $1,200. And then I think $1,000 or $1,200 is expensive, but for a gaming laptop, I could take a loan or work really hard, and then I could finally buy it. And the funniest part is that this already happened to me, but not with a gaming laptop, but with a graphics card. A couple of months ago, I bought myself an RTX 5070, and yeah, at launch it cost around $500 or $600, but because I don't live in a country where it's produced, I had to buy the same graphics card for $1,000. Absolute madness. And the funniest part, I bought the cheapest model from Enos 3D. Now you understand, right? And yes, almost everyone chooses the loan option. And do you know why? Because the situation is already really harsh here. Technology doesn't stand still. What was powerful a few years ago can become outdated very quickly, and no one will want it anymore. So you understand the problem, right? Someone living in a second or third world country earning a low salary because of how the local economy works wants to buy a powerful gaming laptop to enjoy life and play some games. They save money months after months, maybe even years. And when they finally buy that gaming laptop, guess what happens? A year or maybe two later, that powerful laptop is already weak and almost useless. Games get more demanding, and that laptop they were proud of may not be enough for new games like GTA 6, which is coming soon. And they wanted to play it on ultra settings, and they worked really hard for that. But unfortunately, that's the harsh reality. So yeah, if you live in a very developed country and complain that your tech is too expensive, please just remember us, the people who live in a second or third world countries. Trust me, our situation is much worse.